Recently, man, I've been thinking about the behavior of functions using complex numbers, particularly the advanced techniques like counter integration. Nah, man, I'm fucking with you. Did you actually believe me for a second? Yeah, I was just reading that off Google. Nah, but seriously today I didn't have a topic in mind, but now that I'm just speaking out loud here, the hard problem of consciousness is coming to mind. I'm aware that's one hell of a tangent. What is the hard problem of consciousness? To put it simply, it's basically the last question we as human beings have regarding the scientific mystery of existence. The hard problem of consciousness has to do with phenomenology, which is basically the study of the internal experience. Think about it like this. If you were to describe color to a blind person, could you do it? If you were to describe sound to a deaf person, could you do it? The quality of the internal experience is the one thing that science can't touch. And it's perplexed me for many years. I've dived deep into science, especially in relation to religion, because I wanted to understand where God was. My parents were Muslim, but I ended up an atheist. And more than anything, I was just angry at existence for having the gall to put us into a non-consensual experience with no answers. So I spent a lot of years growing up trying to understand reality through the lens of science. I didn't pursue the sciences academically, but I was constantly digging at the bigger questions left in physics and biology, trying to understand the double slit experiment, why a conscious observer impacted reality at all, looking at the biggest things to the smallest things, looking at the history of time all the way down to the Big Bang, looking at Stephen Hawking's theories, trying to understand the Casimir mechanism, to see if any gap left in our understanding of the universe had God in it. But eventually, I ran into a roadblock with science. Answers just weren't there. And so I began to turn my attention to the subjective experience. I'm talking psychedelics, DMT, claims of entire universes accessible by a human brain just by ingesting some of these drugs. It fascinated me. Wouldn't it fascinate you too? Naturally, I thought if there's any sort of truth to what this reality is, it might more likely be found in the subjective than the objective. That's where my interest in consciousness, I'd say, really started. I went back to university for a time, mainly recreationally, trying to ask professors questions about consciousness, what they understand about it, but colleges aren't necessarily interested in exploring these topics. It's not grounded in empirical study. That's not to say there is no empirical study on the subject. There's a consciousness researcher, what's it called? Let me see. Here we go. The Center of Consciousness Studies at the University of Arizona. They have a yearly meet related to the science of consciousness research. And occasionally every year I go and I check their videos and researches to see what they figured out. It's nothing ever really truly profound. If anything, I'm very interested in their psychedelic research so that we can try and understand these DMT worlds and 5-MeO DMT as well. But my own personal research took me towards mysticism. Claims that these religious individuals are able to directly experience a God force through rigorous systemic subjective experience training. And that really intrigued me. Here now I'm seeing the claim that God does exist. And not only does he exist, but a handful of individuals are able to experience him. You best believe I was intrigued. But that's a topic for another day. If you want me to go more into detail on any one of these subjects that I talk about, each of them can turn into an entire video. But that's just a little history with my relationship to the science of consciousness. I'm still very interested in it. If you have any interest in it yourself, let me know what you think in the comments below. And I'll see you boys in the next one.